Today's section is about the qualities that makes for a successful entrepreneurship. Now, the qualities I've written them here. They are first, you should have self-belief, um, be able to have self-initiative, self-discipline. You should be very persistent. You should be able to take calculated risk. You should be um, action-oriented. You should be results-oriented. Have a clear vision of your goal. Be optimistic and be a team player. All these things I'm going to dilate upon as we start talking and discussing. So first, the first point is to have self-belief. What do I mean? A person who believes in himself would also believe in the product or service that is given to society, which is very important. Because if you don't believe in yourself, what you do would have some imbalance to it, and you improving it will be hard. So it's very important that for your business to be successful, you should believe in what you're doing, have self-belief. And the second point we said was what? You should be able to have the what we call the self-discipline. Self-discipline is very important for a person in entrepreneurship. Very important. Why? Because there are times that you find it that you cannot get up and get to work, but you have to go to work. So sometimes you see your friends watching football or engaging in an endeavor that you like to engage in, but you cannot just join them. Why? Because you focus on reaching your goal. So it's very important that an entrepreneur becomes self-disciplined. Also, self-initiative. Self-initiative is the you are in a community, you are in the society, you see that things are happening in a way that you do not like. What do you do about it? You get up and you try to meet the demand. You try to meet the challenge, and that is what entrepreneurs do. Entrepreneurs meet the challenge. They see a problem and they get up and try to solve it. Very very important. Apart from that, too, I we spoke about being persistent. An entrepreneur needs to be persistent. How do I mean? When you start a business, many things will come. You will have family issues. You have where even you are situated. You have issues there. You have problems with your workers. You have problems, government issues. You even have tax issues. However, you have to be persistent. Persistent means that you should keep your eye on the goal. Keep doing it till you get it. To get to the goal you want. You're not going to stop at the least challenge, at the least defiance. You have to keep working and work to reach your goal. Also, there's a point that is very important: risk. It's said that when you take more risk, you might gain more. But of course, inherent in that more risk is more problems. Risk generally is called danger. Risk is danger. So when you're coming against danger, and there are things that you come across, danger can kill you. Your business can die. So now, if you are taking risk, it has to be calculated in the sense that you look at yourself and see what you can contain. It's very, very important. Otherwise, you go and take a goal that is way bigger than you. You go and you buy some things, some tools and equipment that are so expensive, and before you start making any profit, all those things will just get destroyed. Just you have to be careful. Calculated risk is very important in entrepreneurship, and every entrepreneur needs to be very careful as to the risk they take. However, do not forget that when you don't take risk at all, then you're not going to gain any profit. Entrepreneurship is mainly about profit, and profit is linked with taking risk. So it's very important to take calculated risk. Also, the next point is being action oriented. You can have an idea. The idea may be supreme, beautiful, nice. However, if you cannot work on the idea, then you're not reaching the goal. So it's very important that you become action oriented. The actions that are needed for you to reach that goal should be enforced, it should be emphasized in your mind, within you. You and your workers should know that it is in working, it's in doing that you reach your goal. So each day, each time that is very important for you to go to work, you have to go to work. The things you have to do that are very necessary. Not going to work because you have access to internet. You're going to use the internet for so many things like Facebooking and doing all sort of things. But you have to concentrate on what is most important: the action, the things, the work that is needed to get to your goal. It's very important. Apart from being action oriented, you should also be resource oriented. An entrepreneur who is not looking at the end of his actions is just wasting his own time. You can't keep on doing things that you don't know the results that you are aiming at. The results very important. Otherwise, even the actions will be convoluted, will be confused, will be chaotic. Knowing the results you want, keeping the results in your mind, and resolving to work continuously to achieve those results, very, very important for an entrepreneur who wants to be successful in business. Also, this should have come way earlier. That is having a clear vision as to where you're going. Any entrepreneur who enters into business must know where it's going. Even perhaps whilst you working, you are on your business, you're embarking on your venture. It's possible that you change your mind. Things will happen. You veer off a bit. But I just said veer off a bit. That's all. An entrepreneur should be able to have a clear vision as to where he's going. Is that when you have a vision of where you're going, your action will be results oriented. You have self-confidence, you have self-discipline, and all these things, qualities I've mentioned, are all linked to this. So clear goal in your mind is very, very important. Now, another point for an entrepreneur who wants to be successful is you should be able to be a team player. You see, when you go alone, you go so far. But when you go with others, where others are agreeing with you, others are teaming up with you to reach the goal, which is connected to society, of course, not to only you, then you see that your results will be more expansive, will be more multiplied. Now, if one person can take a step, imagine what 5 people will do. 5 people will take 5 steps, and very important at reaching your goal earlier, one, then also being more efficient, because in that way you get to delegate some of the things that you have to do. You delegate it for others to do, and in all, if you get time, you as the main entrepreneur, you as the main businessman, you get time to focus on what is most important for you. And in all, the business will grow, and will grow from strength to strength. Finally, an entrepreneur should be optimistic. What do you mean by optimistic? You should have hope, a better hope for the future. You see, if you don't have hope and you're into business, then what are you doing? Are you just passing time? Optimism is very, very important. Thinking that things will work out best, things will work out for you in the way you want it is very, very important for an entrepreneur. When you keep thinking about the bad things that happen, you're not going to take any move. Even your moves will be strained. But optimism fills you with delight so that early in the morning you can wake up. Sometimes you don't even have the energy, but you have the motivation just because you have optimism. And this is very essential. I wouldn't place, finally, I would like to tell you, I wouldn't place any of these qualities above each other, any one of them. But what you should know is that all these qualities they intermingle, they move together, and they give you the successful business that you want. Thank you.